officials will appeal the strict quarantine measures. Let's hear more from Cebu City Mayor Edgardo Labella and DOH Central Visayas Chief Pathologist Dr. Jean Loreche. Doctor, Mayor, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Mayor, let's start off with you. Nag-apela na po kayo sa IATF regarding why you were moved from GCQ to ECQ?
Hello?
Hello, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mayor, nag-apela na po kayo sa IATF at sa national government. Bakit po na-move kayo sa ECQ?
Yes, of course we will be filing our appeal tomorrow because the last day of the filing of the appeal would be the second day, and that would be tomorrow. Yes, the IATF underscored that Cebu City should be under ECQ this time, no longer GCQ, because the case doubling time, according to IATF, is 6.63 days high risk. And second, the critical utilization rate as of June 14 is 60 MV 45%, 27 ICU. They are now questioning the critical isolation rate of Cebu City. And the third one is that 61 out of 80 barangays are affected and with active cases. And Cebu City lagged 33, that's the fourth one, and Cebu City lagged 33 to 36 testing positivity rate. These are the reasons why the changed our quarantine status from GCQ to ECQ.
So, Mayor, you've already made your case with the IATF, which you will be filing tomorrow. When are you likely to get a response from the IATF regarding their decision if indeed Cebu City will be moved back to GCQ or if you will remain in ECQ?
Well, this quarantine condition is good for 15 days, but hopefully we can have this, but the question should be answered by IATF. It is not for us to speculate on how long they would either deny or give due course to our appeal.
So hintayin na lang po natin ang sagot ng IATF. Dr. Loreche, let me get over to you. Were the numbers taken out of context because of the increased testing and the more efficient contact tracing in Cebu City?
In all probability, I would say they do have their own reasons for downgrading Cebu City despite the numbers that we have shown. But in principle, the more number of tests one can conduct in a particular area will definitely increase the number of cases that will be found, because that is really the ruling. When you have more tests made available, then you expect a number of, an increase in the number of those cases.
And Doctor, it was your boss, Secretary Duque, who made the announcement last night that Cebu City will be placed under ECQ. Were you able to talk to him? Were you able to explain to him the data? And did he understand the numbers?
This morning, our regional director, Dr. Jaime Bernadas, and Secretary Duque were actually in talks regarding our data and our results. And so I believe that our regional director was able to explain to Secretary Duque on what these numbers really truly mean for Cebu City.
And currently, Doctor, how many tests are conducted on a daily basis in Cebu City?
We have 3 accredited licensed molecular laboratories. One is a privately owned, and that is located in Mactan, Lapu-Lapu, ARC Hospital, which can actually run around 120 to 150 tests for 24 hours. But currently, they are only running one shift, so they can run around 60 to 80 tests. But the Department of Health Molecular Laboratory can run together with Vicente Soto Molecular Lab, if we combine the two, we would be able to produce samples or run samples of around 3,000 per day. That's running on 3 shifts. That's 24 hours.
So we've really seen an increase in the number of tests in Cebu City. Mayor, let me get back to you. What are your plans if the IATF rejects your appeal for Cebu City to return to GCQ status?
Well, as I've said at the very outset, that we have to abide by and comply with the order of the national government, of course, by the president. As public officials, we really have to obey and comply with. But Rico, may I just be allowed to say something about the number of cases that we have in Cebu City? Because if you take a look at it, yes, somehow it's really disturbing, considering that as of June 15, we have 3,613 confirmed cases. But let us also consider the fact that of these 3,613 confirmed cases, there are already 1,874 recoveries.
Yes.
Or percentage-wise, it's 51.87%. Vis-a-vis the national recovery rate of only 23.66%. And because of our intervention, the kind of intervention that we have in Cebu City, starting March, our
Mayor,
fatality rate is only 1.08%.
So, Mayor, these numbers should really make the IATF rethink their decision of shifting Cebu City back from ECQ and look at the GCQ status. But tell us, how will this impact the business community? I mean, now you have stricter border controls and businesses have to shut down once again.
As I've said, business is really hurting. It has started to, it has started to it has started to grow, but suddenly with this ECQ. Rico, may I just be allowed to say something in connection with this?
Because briefly, sir.
I just would like people to know that we in Cebu City, we believe that the most effective way of fighting this invisible enemy is through testing, massive testing, contact tracing, and treatment and isolation. As early as the last week of March, we purchased 35,000 swab kits, PCR, 3 PCR machines, and we were able to test more than 10,000 people in the city of Cebu. And in addition to that, with the help of the presidential assistant for the Visayas, Secretary Michael Dino, together with the other local governments, we were able also to test more than 15,000. So all in all, we have tested 25,000 people in the city of Cebu. Now, some people would tell me, Mayor, you stop testing because you are just increasing the number of positive. Well, I said it is our moral and legal duty to really test, trace, and isolate and treat.
That's right.
That's why we have this number. Now,
Mayor?
let me finish. Of the positive cases, 80 to 90% of these are asymptomatic. So instead of just placing them on home quarantine, we have 52 barangay isolation centers that can accommodate 3,000 of these asymptomatic positive patients. That's why this will answer to the question of the IETF on the critical utilization rate. Well, it's true.
Thank you.
Our hospitals are somehow overwhelmed. But if only we will be utilizing or considering the fact that we have our barangay isolation centers accommodating positive and asymptomatic, and our barangay quarantine or our quarantine centers in the city, that can accommodate about 400 for the mild moderate cases, then our hospitals will not be overwhelmed.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And you will be filing that appeal tomorrow And we do hope that the IATF will listen to your appeal. Thank you so much for joining us, Cebu City Mayor Eugene Labella and Dr. Jean Loreche from the Department of Health.